Liberals rattled as Conservatives dig up old scandals. Parliament showdown erupts. The 2025 snap election may be over, but the political fireworks in Ottawa are far from finished. As Parliament returns to full business, Pierre Poilievre's Conservative Party has launched an aggressive push to revive investigations the Liberals hoped were buried. With Mark Carney now leading a weakened Liberal minority government, the opposition isn't wasting a second. Armed with committee power and renewed momentum from their electoral gains, the Conservatives are reopening explosive files and putting the Liberals on the defensive in front of a watching nation. One of the first major moves came in the Government Operations and Estimates Committee, where the Conservatives successfully revived the dormant investigation into the $9 million luxury condo purchase in Manhattan for Tom Clark, Canada's Consul General in New York. The scandal, originally shelved when Parliament dissolved, is now back in the spotlight. Conservatives forced a vote to finalize a report using existing evidence, a procedural step that would allow the issue to be officially documented and tabled in Parliament. The motion passed only after Conservative MP Kelly McCauley, newly elected committee chair, broke the tie. Every Liberal member voted against it, raising eyebrows and reigniting accusations that the government is trying to hide politically embarrassing details. The question remains, why vote against finishing a report that won't require new witnesses or resources? To the Conservatives, and increasingly to the public, the answer is clear. Liberals fear the damage the findings could cause to their already fragile image. With Canadians watching closely after a hard-fought election and Carney seeking to establish himself as a fresh face in leadership, any whiff of scandal can quickly unravel the narrative of renewal. The opposition is framing the Liberal vote as an attempt to bury the truth, and they're using committee meetings to shine a spotlight on every refusal, every deflection, and every procedural stall. This renewed scrutiny is possible because of one crucial parliamentary reality. In a minority government, committees can be controlled by the opposition. And that's exactly what's happening. The Conservatives have found an eager ally in the Bloc Québécois, who have said it would be irresponsible to abandon unfinished investigations after public money and parliamentary time were already spent. Bloc leader Yves-François Blanchet has emphasized that transparency is essential and has backed efforts to finalize these reports and carry forward any incomplete accountability work. This partnership has tipped the balance on committees and allowed the opposition to advance their priorities despite Liberal resistance. Beyond the condo issue, another major file now returning to the public eye is the investigation into Indigenous procurement abuses. Initially launched after the ArriveCan controversy, the inquiry centered around how Dalian Enterprises, a company with a small number of employees and only one Indigenous member, was able to secure set-aside contracts meant to support Indigenous businesses. Rather than doing the work themselves, Dalian subcontracted it out to firms like GC Strategies and Cordex, while still reaping the financial benefits. The integrity of the federal Indigenous procurement program was called into question, and the Conservatives are now demanding to know how this was allowed to happen under the previous Liberal mandate. In recent weeks, this investigation has gained renewed urgency. After the election, the committee received nearly 100,000 pages of unredacted documents from Dalian and Cordex, including contract details and personal information. The Conservatives argue this information could reveal patterns of mismanagement or favoritism in government contracting, and they're determined to follow the trail. Although privacy concerns mean the documents will first be reviewed in camera, the political implications are already being felt. Every new page could expose more missteps and strengthen the argument that the Liberals not only failed to protect public funds, but also undermined the goals of reconciliation and equity. The government now finds itself in an impossible position. Opposing further investigation into Indigenous procurement could be seen as dismissing the voices of Indigenous leaders and businesses. But supporting the inquiries risks further embarrassment and more damning revelations. Many Indigenous witnesses were never heard due to technical issues in earlier hearings, and Conservatives are pressing for those voices to finally be given the platform they were denied. Any Liberal hesitation to proceed only deepens the impression of defensiveness. At the center of these escalating tensions is Kelly McCauley, the Conservative MP from Edmonton West. As chair of the Government Operations and Estimates Committee, McCauley is leveraging his procedural authority to keep the spotlight on Liberal actions. Known for his sharp focus on government accountability, he has been instrumental in pushing these investigations forward and resisting Liberal attempts to delay or derail them. Under his leadership, committee hearings have become must-watch moments, with every vote and comment dissected in real time by pundits and political observers. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Carney is trying to shift the national conversation toward his legislative agenda, including proposals to expand infrastructure investment and reduce interprovincial trade barriers. But every time he takes a step forward, the reemergence of scandals pulls him back into the defensive. Critics say he promised a clean slate but inherited, and now seems unwilling to confront, the ethical baggage of previous Liberal leadership. These issues are making it difficult for the Carney government to gain traction, especially when questions of integrity and public trust dominate the daily headlines. The Conservatives, on the other hand, are using this period to build their case as a government in waiting. Pierre Poilievre has emphasized the need for clear, enforceable reforms. His team has introduced proposals to clean up procurement processes, tighten Indigenous contract eligibility criteria, and impose penalties for abuse. They're also pushing tax reforms aimed at giving working Canadians more breathing room, hoping to contrast themselves with what they describe as a Liberal establishment that rewards insiders and centralizes control. In this new Parliament, every committee motion, every document dump, and every evasive response in question period is being weaponized in the broader battle for public opinion. Mark Carney may be trying to govern, but the Conservatives are clearly setting the tone. They're turning past scandals into present liabilities, and it's working. With Liberals stuck playing defense, the opposition is driving the conversation and putting the government under constant siege. As more documents are examined and more committee hearings unfold, the picture emerging is not just of one scandal, but of a system many Canadians increasingly believe is rigged. The political cost of appearing aloof or evasive is steep, especially for a minority government trying to build credibility. The Liberals may have survived the election, but if they can't answer for past actions, their grip on power may begin to unravel faster than they expect. With Parliament back in full swing, the message from the Conservatives is clear: no more swept-under-the-rug scandals, no more vague talking points, and no more accountability dodges. The investigations are back. The heat is on. And the Liberals are running out of places to hide.